All right, so we're going to move on and start talking about, and we're going to talk very briefly about moving things around in the third dimension. And the reason that we're going to just talk about it briefly is because after we got the basics in 2D, um, we really need to get into where we can see the movement in order for this to work, or in order for this to make a lot of sense. So, right here, just like we did previously, we have our first box, and then this is the one that we're going to rotate and scale and skew, etc. And we're going to do that in this lesson. We're going to do that in 3 dimensions, and that means that rather than just going up or down, or wait, up and down or side to side, we can go out towards the audience, right? Using that third dimension, which is deep and near. All right. And what does that mean? Let's take a look. We're going to go over to W3 Schools and pull up what that looks like right here. So this is 3D transforms. And here's a 2D rotate. And this is the next lesson. We're going to learn how to do this in our next lesson, which is very cool. So I click that, right? And that's going to be going from one position, and what is that? Rotating along the, I don't know, x-axis, something like that. And but we're going to be learning transitions in the next lesson. This is 3D rotate. So rather than just spinning like that, we can go out like this. So it looks like it's we have depth perception, and all of this stuff is we're going to play around with a lot more later on. We're just getting our basics right now. So let's go back to our lesson, and let's just pull up our codes here. And you'll have this on the lesson, but what we're going to just do is show how we can use these codes here. So same basic codes to start up, and then right here we're going to use different terms. That's a div ID transform 3D. But you can see here I do transform, and then I rotate, and I'm going to specify some different codes here, like rotate 3D, or I'm going to rotate along the X, Y, or Z axis. And just very quickly here, I'm going to say rotate Y 70 degrees. And you can see that what it's doing is that it is rotating it, and you can't see it. That's the thing with the 3D, you can't really see it that well until you do it in the transition. But what that's doing right now is it's sort of transforming in the middle. We're in the middle of transforming 70 degrees, the same way this is like that. So right there is what it looks like, okay? So, I'm not going to get in, again, until we get into transitions, I'm not going to get into that much here. You're going to experiment with moving around, but especially in 3D, it's kind of hard to see what it looks like because we're on a two-dimensional surface right here. So I'm going to stop this lesson. This will be a very, very short lesson. Not even going to worry about you doing the assignment that much. I might add to this later, but we really want to get into transitions so that we can start playing around with how two-dimensional transforms and three-dimensional transforms can start getting really cool. All right?